Alright, what's up, guys? Nerdstorm back at it again. Gonna do the Eminem tier list. All 12 studio albums ranked worst to best, and let's get right into it. Infinite. Solid release. Even the title track, definitely the standout song on this, but besides the boom bap sound, Eminem over the boom bap sound is pretty cool to hear. There's not much too remarkable about this album overall. So I'm putting it into C tier. And we'll get things moving along with the Slim Shady LP from 1999. This is his first record with Aftermath Records. First one to actually chart on Billboard, number 2. And this is definitely a big step up from Infinite. A lot of the standout songs, My Name Is, Guilty Conscience, Rock Bottom, If I Had, Bad Meets Evil, Still Don't Give a Fuck, Just Don't Give a Fuck. Great album. I wouldn't say it's aged the best, but still, an amazing work of art they conjured up with this. I'm going to put this one in A tier. Marshall Mathers LP? Easy S tier. Easy ass S tier. So many classics on this one. The Way I Am, Real Slim Shady, Bitch Please 2, Kim, I'm Back. The list goes on. Amityville. The list goes on and on and on. It's pushed the boundaries for what could be said in an album. Obviously, you have the Two Live Crew album, but this had everyone shocked when it released. Songs like Kill You, Stan, Kim, just blew everyone's minds. There's just so much replay value from this. S tier. Not much else I can really say. Eminem Show. S tier as well. There's more of a defined sound with this one. The content and sound to me is more appealing than Marshall Mathers LP. Obviously, still amazing album there, but Eminem Show, you get so much more content with White America, with him just looking into his own eyes and seeing how his skin color, being a white rapper in a black genre, benefited him over time. Because obviously on the earlier albums, it was really hurting him a bit, but here it seemed to help him now that he looked back on it and said goodbye to Hollywood, which is him looking at how he almost went to jail for a case of him pistol whipping someone in the face, and also his marriage was getting a little dicey in there. Haley's song also, but he also had bangers on here like Till I Collapse, Sing for the Moment, Without Me, Business, Clean Out My Closet, etc., etc. The content and the rock rap production really made this one a great album overall. It stood out in his discography. S tier. Now, Encore is where things get really dicey because much I love the guy, this album's a fucking mess. A goddamn mess. There's standouts on here, like Toy Soldiers, Never Enough, Mosh, but besides that, the whole album is a mess. Bad hooks, bad verses, strange beat choices, strange sounds he makes, like on Puke. And that seven track run from Puke to Ass Like That, god awful. I mean, there's some like ironic value out of this, which is the only thing keeping away from F tier, but still a bad album. E tier. Now, Relapse is an interesting one because it's his most polarizing album overall. But if you ask me, this is magnum opus. There's just so many layers to this. It's so ahead of its time with how it explores his childhood trauma on My Mom and Insane, and then how he uses that energy negatively later in his life on songs like Same Song Dance and Stay Wide Awake. And even the more funny songs like We Made You, which is more akin to Eminem Show Without Me. But here, in the context of the album with him committing all these assault type crimes, it's a little more eerie because you see on his 3-album run from Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem Show, there's a lot of satirical value from this, but Relapse, it's just serious and sinister with its sounds and what Eminem is talking about on here, until he finally, of course, relapses on what was it? Must Be the Ganja and Deja Vu, where he finally relapses and gains his conscience back, and then he just unloads his heart out on Beautiful, and he celebrates on Crack a Bottle, and then he just looks at his past experience on Underground. It's just such a well layered album from start to finish, despite its strange oddities, the accents. They're cool because he uses the accents not for fun, but he uses them to twist the words around. Like on Stay Wide Awake, on the second verse, he just rhymes whole sentences together. Everything just rhymes perfectly. It's just such an underrated album to me. S tier, his best album. Now, Recovery is interesting because after the lukewarm reception of Relapse, he went for more of a pop rap focus to get the masses back in. Obviously, it worked because the album just went diamond a few days ago. I'm very fond of this album. Not as good as Relapse, but still a very well made album. So bad, the guitar and horns on there are just addictive to listen to. Love the Way You Lie, No Love, Lil Wayne. Great singles on there. Some dicey spots on there. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Spacebound and White Trash Parties, and some of the hooks are delivered in a weird way, like Almost Famous. And I love Not Afraid, but hook on there is, you don't want to listen to that all the time. Not in the mood, but great song, great album, A tier. A tier. I'll put that above Slim Shady LP. Now, Marshmallow's LP 2 is interesting because I say it's sequel to the first one. I say it's not as good, but there's some value, intrinsic value with this. The singles are solid, Berserk, Rap God, The Monster. But I think what really makes this one stand up is the intro, Bad Guy, the sequel to Stan. Just so... you think it would just be a flop of a song, but the way he goes from the perspective of Stan's brother to pointing out holes in Eminem's his own logic, just so well done there. And Evil Twin, the outro, those two songs, like some of his best songs, along with Headlights, are also off this album. I won't say it's the most like replayable or memorable Eminem album, but this is like his last. I'd say Recovery is his last classic album, but this is still a great album overall. I'm gonna go B tier on this one. Nah. Nah, this album was not it. I will give him props for Castle and a Rose. Those two songs are amazing, but every other song of this album, throw it away. Throw it away. Everything with Encore, but worse. Somehow. Just bad hooks, just bad writing, iffy beats. It's just nonsense for the other 18 tracks off the album. F tier. Now, Kamikaze, as a hate to say it, but as someone who was in their death of mumble rap phase when this album came out, going back to it, it was a rough experience. It was a pretty bad experience because obviously it was just a response album to Revival, so there wasn't much content there aside from Stepping Stone, which is by far the best song on the album. Just him exploring what happened to D12 after his friend Proof passed away. But everything else on here is kind of take it or leave it. Like The Ringer, greatest, Lucky You, great songs. But the content, really, it's just a mess of an album. Not as bad as Revival, but not much better. I go E tier. Now, Music to Be Murdered By, I think is a solid step up from there. So there's a few really great songs on here that really leveled up his content. Darkness, You Gon' Learn, Ya Ya. That Black Thought verse was incredible. Incredible here, him, Royce to 5'9", Black Thought, Q-Tip, Mr. Porter on the same song. That was really great. Not too much replay value from this one, I'd say, but really solid album overall. I'm going to go C tier for this one. And the newest album, The Death of Slim Shady, I just went back to listen to this today. for this video. I'd say this is a pretty well made album. Obviously, the content gets a little repetitive with the Caitlyn Jenner name drops and the cancel me Gen Z type shit, but when you actually look into the songs, they're really well made, especially the emotional songs towards the end. Temporary and Somebody Save Me. I did not expect that Jelly Roll feature to be any good, but that was great. Now I see the more rap intensive songs. The way he started Renaissance with that flow was crazy. That run with Antichrist, Fuel, and Lucifer. This is a pretty good album. Like I said, not his best, but I could definitely do a B tier with this one. And that was everything. Thank y'all nerds for tuning in. Nerdstorm out.